Hello everyone, I hope you all are well. Dave here, back with another video today. We're going to be talking more wrestling, more specifically this most recent Payback that happened about a week ago, the 2023 Payback event. I know that this video is a week late. That was because I was busy last weekend, couldn't watch it, and but I watched it yesterday with a friend of mine, and now I want to talk about it. My last wrestling video, which was covering SummerSlam, has a decent amount of views, or at least decent for me. Has some comments. There was, a lot of people seem to enjoy it, I guess. It got more traction than I usually get. So if the wrestling videos are something that y'all want to see, I'd be more than happy to do them. I have a playlist on my channel with all the wrestling videos. My hair is not cooperating. With all the wrestling videos that I've done so far here on the channel. So feel free to watch that if you would like. And I don't know if you can hear the cat meowing, but he is. But yeah, so I have that playlist. Feel free if there's anything you want me to talk about wrestling related, or just any questions, or any tips or ideas you want to throw my way, feel free to let me know in the comments below. But anyway, let's talk Payback 2023. Overall, my overall review or impression on the event was I really enjoyed it. I honestly did. There were matches that went that didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, but at the end of the day, there wasn't a match on this card that I thought was bad. There wasn't, for example, SummerSlam match, the Drew McIntyre and, I don't even remember who he was wrestling, Gunther, I think. That match I just totally forgot about when it came to talking about it. But, this one, even if the match didn't go how I hoped it would go, it was still good, and I still liked it. So, in no particular order, let's just go from the top and head to the bottom. The World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I wanted Shinsuke to win. I thought that would have been a lot of fun and really would have shaken things up. There was a lot going into it, and I'm not the biggest fan of heels. At the end of the day, I like to think of myself as a good person, so I like to support the good guy wrestlers, the faces. But if a heel is doing more than just the typical, oh, I'm here in this bum city and I hate this place and this crowd is stupid, that sort of heel I don't like, because we've seen it before. But Shinsuke as a heel, or at least this version of Shinsuke as a heel, is one that I actually really do like, because he was no, I'm gonna get in that ring and I'm gonna destroy this man. I'm gonna make it so he can't pick up his kids anymore. That's whoa, dude. Pretty nuts, pretty gnarly, and kind of in a weird way, kind of dope. Obviously you don't want that to happen, but it's pretty dope to see an actual bad guy, not just a dude who's kind of a jerk. You know what I mean? So it was a good match. I mean, Shinsuke's strong style, that's one of the reasons he's so popular, is because his moveset and his style of wrestling is pretty unique, or at least unique to North American wrestling. Hitting, the Kinshasa, which they cut to a replay of a previous move, so it was up in the corner, which was really annoying when he hit it. But it was a good match with a lot on the plate. Shinsuke bringing up, Seth's family and bringing Seth's injury to light, his back injury and stuff. And there was a lot riding on it. And it was a very brutal, it felt kind of like a beatdown. It felt like these two guys were just beating each other up. Seth did win, which I have nothing against Seth. I really like Seth. He's another heel that I like, and that's why I like this match, because both of these guys are just psychos. They're just freaking psychopaths, and that's a reason why I liked it. Because they aren't typical heels that are just oh, this place sucks, blah, blah, blah. They've got more going on. But the match was great. Seth hitting a frog splash from that was the highest I've ever seen, I think, anyone jump, and he bounced up and his whole back half of his body sprung off the mat a little bit, and it was a pretty good match. It was really good. Like I said, Seth did win. I've got nothing against Seth. I'm happy he still has the belt. I do want to see Shinsuke win something soon, because I think that he would make for an actual his music is final boss music. He would literally make for a villain, a good villain in the WWE. So I would like to see that happen. But yeah, that was the World Heavyweight Championship. Next, we got the World Women's Championship. Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley. Did anyone else catch that they accidentally called her Gonzalez at one point? I thought that was funny. It has nothing to do with the match. I just thought that was funny, and I'm wondering if anyone else caught that. But it was a pretty good match. I mean, I love Raquel and I love Rhea, but I don't know, their whole rivalry seemed a little not forced to me, but it just wasn't super interesting. The match was really good. I enjoyed it. I hate that Dominic had to interfere, because that's the only way the Judgment Day can win, which I'll touch more on the Judgment Day in a second, because I got a little bit that I want to rant about with them. But yeah, so it was fine. Rhea, we all knew she was still going to win. That's fine. Have her hold the belt. But it is interesting, when it comes to people like Seth and Rhea, you wonder, who's going to finally beat these guys, It's just interesting, what they're going to do, to see, okay, who's finally going to take down Seth? Who's finally going to take down Rhea? Who are they going to give these belts to, if they do? And again, I'll get to that in a second. Actually, you know what? Let's get to that right now. Steel City Street Fight for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Now, I'm mad that Kevin and Sami lost. I feel like they did both of them dirty. Both of those guys deserved to hold the tag team belts. They deserved to be on top, and they got it, and then the WWE did nothing with them. They ruined their momentum. They gave them nothing to go off of, and they lost to Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I don't dislike Finn Balor. I think he's an excellent wrestler, and he deserves to have some sort of belt. He deserves to be in some sort of title picture. I don't hate that Finn won, but I hate that the Judgment Day won. And I was saying this to my buddy yesterday. I said, dude, I am so worried that they are turning the Judgment Day into the new Bloodline, because the Bloodline is crumbling. They're kind of wrapping up that storyline, because the Jimmy and Jay held the tag team belts. Roman holds the undisputed belts. They had a bunch of belts, and they were the top dog in the whole company. I have a fear that they're doing that with the Judgment Day, because now Finn and Damian held the tag team belts. Dom has the NXT belt. Rhea has the World Championship belt. Damian Priest still has the Money in the Bank briefcase, which he will not cash in for some reason, which is annoying me. I'm not a Damian Priest fan, but I want him to cash in, because I just want them to shut up about it. I want them to shut up about Mr. Money in the Bank. He won't cash it in, and it's been a while, right? Maybe I'm crazy, and again, overall, I'm still a very new wrestling fan. In the grand scheme of things, with how long wrestling has been a thing, I'm very new. So if I'm speaking out of turn, someone politely please, let me know in the comments if hey Dave, this is actually kind of a normal thing. But for me, that happened back in May. I need them to stop talking about him being Mr. Money in the Bank. Just cash it in or don't. Do something with it. And it's just, it's frustrating that we moved on from one faction that held everything, and now we're getting into, right afterwards, literally with no breathing room, another faction that seems like they're going to hold everything. First of all, please, for the love of God, split the belts up. It shouldn't be the Undisputed Tag Team Championship. It should be the Raw Tag Team Championship or the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. You have so many people on both of these rosters that deserve to have belts. And you have so many already established tag teams that deserve to have belts. And if you don't think that any one of them deserve to have a belt, make a new tag team. You have so many individual wrestlers still on these rosters. Why do the Street Profits not have a tag team belt? Why give the belt to Sammy and Kevin just to have them do nothing with it and then lose both of them? At least let them keep one of them. And again, now the Judgment Day has all these belts, and we're getting into this, oh, we rule everything. We got all the gold. And another parallel to the bloodline is that nobody can win cleanly. They have to win by interference. Dom ran in for Rhea and Raquel's match. He ran in for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's match. This JD McDonough guy who I didn't know, and my buddy who's a way more experienced and knowledgeable wrestling fan than I am, he didn't even know who this guy was. So literally and then Rhea ran in for a second and crashed into Kevin. So literally it was like 2-on-5 or whatever, if I'm doing my math correctly. So I'm not the biggest fan of shenanigans, but like I'm willing to concede if the shenanigans work, and like work not in the sense of like they won, but work in the sense of like, is it good entertaining television? And I'm very much on the fence of this because the match itself was honestly amazing. It was like, as much as I hated the outcome and I hate the shenanigans, the match itself was fantastic. And I'll get into the specifics afterwards. I just want to get my Judgment Day rant out of the way. But please, WWE, Triple H, Vince, who's ever doing this, stop. I'm so sick of these factions doing everything. If you want, like, the Judgment Day has been on Raw. If you want them to run Raw, fine. But just split the belts up. If you want Raw to be the Judgment Day's thing, at least leave SmackDown to be like up for grabs or whatever, or vice versa, or split the team. I mean, there's still reality of that happening. Finn and Damian were butting heads for a while. They might write some storyline in there where they split up and then go after each other a little bit. But as of right now, I'm afraid that they're turning them into the new bloodline, and I think that's boring, and I don't want to see it. But anyway, rant over. To the actual match itself, again, as much as I hated the outcome, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of chairs, kendo sticks. There was a moment where they threw a trash can over Finn Balor, and Sammy and Kevin kept whacking him with the sticks. Dom came in, who I hate, but Kevin took him out in the most amazing way possible by bringing him all the way to like a sound area in the crowd, throwing him on a table and jumping off one of the barricades in the crowd onto a table that had Dom on it. Like Sammy and Kevin went in the because it's a ice hockey arena where the Penguins play, and they came out, like they went into the box. I wanted to say dugout, but that's not what the hockey thing is called. The bench or whatever. And they came out with hockey jerseys and hockey sticks and started wailing on him. And Kevin looked like he was bleeding. I'm pretty sure that was fake, because I don't think he was bleeding that badly before they went over. He might have, back there, sprayed some blood on himself or something. But it was still pretty sick. And then they hockey punched Dom a bunch, and that was cool to see. And so, like, overall, it was a fun match. It really came down to the wire. Like, Sammy got a few hell of a kicks in there. And, it was great. Like, it was a really good match. Again, not a fan of the outcome, but the match itself was a lot of fun. So moving on, the first match of the evening, the steel cage match, Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. I adore Becky Lynch. I'm a huge fan of Becky Lynch, and that match was phenomenal. Both women were just going at it, and I know that sounds dirty out of context, but like they were really just like in it to. They were just going, like they were hitting moves left and right. There was where Becky took Trish and did like like a power slam. Oh, what's it called? Not the manhandle slam, that was at the end, but like where she took her, because Trish was hanging off the top of the cage, and she took her from off the cage and like landed on the ring with her. That was crazy. Trish eventually started to develop a welt on her forehead, which was pretty nuts. And Becky just went ham. Like, it was, I mean, both of them did an amazing job in that match. There was a point where they were both just slamming each other against the fence. Trish eventually developed a welt on her head. I don't know if I think I literally just said that. I don't know why I'm saying it again. But it was awesome. Like, it was a really good match. I like it. It was good. It was a lot of fun. And then something interesting happened afterwards. Becky won. My queen, Becky Lynch, won. And then, because Zoe Stark tried to interfere, she tried to help Trish get out the gate by pulling her, and then Becky pulled her back in and then took out both of them. But then Trish and Zoe Stark started to get into it afterwards, and then Zoe like slammed Trish onto the mat and like took off her "Thank You Trish" shirt and threw it at her. Like, it wasn't like a betrayal on Trish's part. It was more of an "I quit" on Zoe's part. So I'm kind of interested. I'm not a huge Zoe Stark fan. Like, I don't really care what happens with that storyline, to be honest. But I am a little interested to see what happens there. Like, do they make up? It doesn't look like it. Do Zoe and Becky still have beef now? Does Trish go out and find a new sidekick? Like, what's going to happen? Like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But it was definitely a great way to start the show. Which then leads me into John Cena hosting Payback. I think he did fine. I love John Cena. The world loves John Cena. I think anything that guy does is going to be met with, like, it's going to be, like, praised to some capacity. Not all the time. We all remember the Bing Chilling incident. But for the most part, he's just a likable dude, and people want to support him. And then he was the special guest ref for LA Knight and The Miz. That was a pretty decent match, too. I don't remember much in particular about it, because, again, The Miz is another one of those heels that's just like, this place sucks, and this crowd, I'm the best in the bit. Like, so he's never been a guy I've really cared about, because he doesn't appeal to me. And then LA Knight is a guy who does appeal to me, because in a weird way, as much as I hate, like, the typical heel stuff, I feel like he does it well. And I feel like LA Knight's not a straight up heel. He's just like a pompous face, maybe. Or a heel that people like, and they said during the match that, like, he's a likable guy, especially in, Pittsburgh and, like, the Rust Belt, because, wrestling is very popular in the Rust Belt, because, working class towns and everything. But, like, because he worked his way through wrestling school working at a lumberyard. That's pretty neat. And a lot of working class people see that and are like, that's a cool guy who achieved his dream, working hard and putting in the effort. Like, so if you can get a bunch of people in many cities across the United States chanting LA Knight, for a city they're not even in, that's pretty cool. And he's definitely a guy who I think should be in some title pictures and should get some momentum going. I mean, he's a likable dude. People enjoy him. He had a little moment with John Cena after the match. He won, by the way. He had a little moment with John Cena after the match where they, like, you think they're going to beef, but then they shook hands and they didn't beef. So there could be a storyline there. It could just be for that moment. I don't know. But yeah, I do enjoy LA Knight. I think he's cool. Next, we'll talk about the Grayson Waller effect featuring guest Cody Rhodes. I love Cody, but he didn't really do much because he took the time. Oh, my computer turned off. Camera. Turn on computer. There we go. Sorry. He took the time to introduce main event Jey Uso for the Raw roster. Main event Jey Uso is going to Raw, and he's on Raw now. That's it. That's a pretty big deal because like the Bloodline, all those guys were pretty much exclusively SmackDown. I mean, obviously they had crossover because Roman has both belts, but they were like the SmackDown guys. And it's very cool to see Jey get some of the recognition that he deserves. I'm happy that he got out. You know, I watched the clip of the next Raw where Sammy was talking to Jey, and Sammy was like, "I'm happy you're here," and it was kind of a touching moment, and they hugged it out and stuff. And you know, it makes me glad to see Jey getting some recognition because you know they did him dirty with the whole SummerSlam incident. So that was good. That was cool, and I'm happy that Cody Rhodes got to announce it. It was kind of interesting. Is Cody Rhodes like the GM of Raw now or something? I know he's not, or well, maybe I don't know. But they whoever it was, Michael Cole or whoever, was like, does Cody know what he's doing, or is this? Hopefully, this decision doesn't come back to bite Cody. Like, why is it Cody's decision? He just announced it. Like. And maybe I missed something. And again, if I'm missing a detail, feel free to let me know in the comments. But like, that was just interesting wordage. But Jey came out. Grayson Waller was being a little punk like he normally is. Jey super kicked him. You know, it was good. It was a nice little segment and a nice little way to announce that Jey is going to be on a Raw. And it makes me more interested to see what goes on next. Like, do we do a Jey and Sammy versus the Bloodline, the remainder of the Bloodline? Do we do a Jey and Cody? Because they kind of had a little moment too, where they were like, "Okay, man, I see you," and like, "Yo, you know," like they didn't really say much to one another, but they were kind of looking at one another, and there was like a little moment where they were like, "Okay, dude, like I got you, like I see you." And you know, Cody has his beef with Roman because of the whole belt and you know, getting robbed at WrestleMania last year. And of course, Jey has his beef with Roman and Jimmy. So are we going to get like a Cody and Jey tag team versus Solo and Roman, or versus Jimmy and Roman, or something like that? I don't know. I mean, probably not, but these are things that I'm thinking about and things that actually get me kind of excited. So we'll see what happens there. And then I think the last match that I haven't covered is Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. Rey Mysterio won. Rey Mysterio is my favorite wrestler of all time. I'm so happy that he has a belt. I'm so happy that he's still wrestling. I'm happy to see the LWO getting some love. And the match itself was pretty decent. You know, Rey hit a 619. You know, like it ended pretty crazy. Like a missed like frog splash like on Rey. So Austin like got the jump on him, and then Rey reversed it at the last second and was able to like pin him. Like it was pretty good. It was a good match. Rey is electric. Austin Theory's a pretty good wrestler too. Like I don't really like again, he's another heel who's just like, I'm the best and blah blah blah. So again, doesn't really appeal to me. But as a wrestler, Austin Theory's pretty good in the ring. And the cinnamon toast crunch everywhere was interesting. That was a fun twist. My buddy and I were joking, like, hey, did you see that episode of Cinnamon Toast Crunch last night where Rey Mysterio beat Austin Theory? Like, it was just fun because the whole time there was all this payback, WWE, whatever. And then for that entire match, it was just a Cinnamon Toast Crunch branded, which was interesting. But yeah. I enjoyed it. Of course, Rey won. Rey still has the belt. And I'm happy that he does because I really didn't know what was going to happen there. I thought they were going to give it back to Austin Theory. Don't know, what's going to happen there with that storyline, but it's good. I mean, it's always good to see Rey Mysterio still wrestling because he is awesome. And he's my favorite. So. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That was the card. That was WWE Payback 2023. My little review / impressions of it. Again, apologize for it being a week late, but I was busy, and I only watched it yesterday. But yeah, overall pretty good. Again, even the stuff that didn't end the way that I wanted it to was still stuff that I enjoyed. Like, and really the only one that I'm like really like, yeah, would I have liked Shinsuke to win? But like, yeah, but I'm not mad that Seth Rollins won. Um, am I mad that Rhea Ripley still has a belt? No, not at all, because I like Rhea Ripley, but it would have been nice to see Raquel win something because, one, I think she deserves it, and also it would have weakened the Judgment Day a little bit. And even Finn Balor and Damian Priest winning, yeah, I'm mad that Judgment Day won, but I'm not mad that Finn Balor has a belt. I'm just, again, I'm worried that they're turning into the Bloodline, and also that match, that Steel City Street fight, was phenomenal. Like, despite how it ended, that might have been the best match of the evening. Because that was just crazy. That was complete chaos from start to finish. If you have not seen that match, watch it. I mean, I don't know if you guys have Peacock. That's how I rewatched the event, or not rewatched it, but like watched it later. It might be on YouTube. I don't know, but at least give that match a shot. Tell me what you think. And yeah, so that was WWE Payback 2023. If you guys watched it, I hope you all enjoyed it. Feel free to comment down below your thoughts. If I got any details or missed any details, wrong or right or whatever, please let me know in the comments, respectfully. And yeah, if you want to see more wrestling videos from me, feel free to let me know. I love talking wrestling. I've been really getting into it over this past year, and I would have no problem talking about it more. So again, I've got a playlist on my channel with all my wrestling videos. Feel free to check that out. And until next time, I will see you guys soon. Okay, bye everyone.